Should DLC and expansions be nominated for Game of the Year? Which new releases got snubbed in 2024? Can someone please tell me why we're still talking about Destiny 2?
I say let it die!
And how did this cute little robot get 7 nominations? Man, Astro Bot. I should probably play that, huh?
So here I am, 42 hours into my 5th playthrough of Dragon Age Origins.
What's up, everybody? This is the Act Man here. Hope you put on your finest for the holiday season and for the Game Awards, which are right around the corner, and there's always a juicy bit of controversy and drama. I love hearing the debate around which games deserve a nomination, which deserve to win, and which ones kinda snuck in. Did somebody say fucking poker? Poker has been nominated at the Game Awards. It's a crazy year. 2024 has been much different for the Game Awards because they've changed the rules, deciding that DLC and expansions can be nominated for Game of the Year. Now, there's a lot to say about this decision and why you should probably disagree with it. And we can't dive straight into the turkey of today's video. We gotta work our way up. The Game Awards is a moment to reflect on the last year of our lives. Not in like a boring way where we're going through, pictures we took that year of us going outside, spending time with friends, loved ones, family. No, it's a time to reflect on video games.
Great, I'll grab my stuff.
The best and worst of them. But the Game Awards are also purposely drawn out, so they can shove it full of announcements and reveals for upcoming titles. And I say, fellas, we don't have E3 anymore. I'm down for that. I know they get shit, because it's like a 4-hour award ceremony, but we don't have E3, okay? Sometimes the Super Bowl would have been better if there were more commercials, right? There are some interesting choices this year for sure, none more controversial than Shadow of the Erdtree, which, by the way, I'm still working on a review of it, don't worry. But Game of the Year is an important landmark. Whatever wins will become the symbol of that year. It'll represent the culture and interests of gamers in 2024. And every year after, we'll look back and see if previous years made the right decisions. 2015, Witcher 3, ooh. Yeah, that's a tough lineup right there, but it was the right call. 2016, Overwatch, honestly, Doom could have won it too. Don't blame him. 2017, Breath of the Wild, yeah, come on. That year was going to Nintendo. 2018, That's cap. No, that year they fucked up. That's Red Dead 2 right there. They fucked up. Before we talk about the elephant in the room, I want to give you some of my picks for which games I think should win what category, but I won't go over them all. Make sure you drop a comment heavily disagreeing with everything I say, and put your own picks in there too. I encourage discussion in the comments and my public Discord server, the Act Clan, if you care to join that. Link in the description. Or if you're more of a neckbeard, we got a subreddit too. I'm curious what you guys think. Which games don't deserve their nomination? Which ones do? And don't forget, if you get into an argument with someone, just remind them their subjective opinions are objectively incorrect. But I can't stop you from using the timestamps to skip ahead to wherever you want to watch, Fate is in your own hands. Best ongoing game. First off, why is Destiny 2 still on here? Like, will Bungie ever make a new video game? And Diablo 4? Did that honestly get better? I mean, surely there was other live service games that came out this year. Oh, yeah. Now, my gut instinct tells me best ongoing game has to go to Helldivers 2. But Fortnite does have an automatic win condition in this matchup. Let's check the skins that came out this year. Okay, Deadpool. That's a good one. Wolverine? Jack Sparrow? I'm just not seeing it. These skins really aren't speaking to me. No Peter Griffin. It's got to give it to Helldivers 2. This game dominated the gaming zeitgeist up until the PSN debacle, which still haunts Helldivers 2 to this day, and its developers Arrowhead. That's reason number one people might say, nah, it shouldn't go to Helldivers, but this was something mostly out of the devs' control, if I'm not mistaken. Should they not win because their publisher kind of screwed them over? And let's not forget the whole system of major orders, all these community-driven events. Dude, the memes? Remember the Creek boys? Malevelon Creek? I remember the brave men and women who gave their lives in defense of the Creek. It seems some of you have forgotten. They put down their lives in service of Super Earth, okay? And that matters to me. That still matters. The amount of free content and updates in Helldivers 2 has been insane. Sure, they messed up by over-nerfing much of the sandbox, but they've since gotten back on track. I think they've reversed almost everything, and in fact, weapons like the flamethrower perform much better than they ever have. They've also introduced so many different types of missions, levels, enemies. There's giant fucking AT-ATs in the game now, okay?
What the fuck? Oh, dear.
Helldivers 2 is my pick for best ongoing game, and it's also my choice for best community support. Those kind of tie in together. It's a live service that kept me around much longer than most other games I play. This game is going to have Left 4 Dead 2, Vermintide 2 kind of longevity for me. Best art direction. Ooh, boy. Ooh, this is a toss-up because it was a solid year for visuals. Black Myth Wukong style did go pretty hard. I can't think of too many video game adaptations of Journey to the West, unless I'm stupid and uncultured. Culturally, Black Myth Wukong was pretty important as it was a side of Chinese culture I don't think is often represented in video games. They tend to like mobile games, you know. Plus, there was a monkey, and Sekiro had a monkey. That's 2 games with incredible art styles. Both of them had monkeys. Coincidence? I think not. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What about Sparkin' Zero? How come Sparkin' Zero isn't in best art direction? Come on, man. We lost Toriyama this year. Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry for reminding you. Though, I'd argue art direction is the best thing Shadow of the Erdtree had going for it. That makes it hard to imagine anything else will come on top. Alright, I looked at Metaphor ReFantasio and... okay, that looks pretty good for an anime game. Also, Space Marine 2 could have easily been nominated here. But for best art direction, I think Shadow of the Erdtree is going to win out over Wukong. They don't got Bail the Dread. I'm sorry, Wukong fans, it might not be in the cards. Best score in music. Question. Out of all the categories Shadow of the Erdtree is nominated for, including Game of the Year, it's not in best score in music? Are they only allowed 5 games per category? That's kind of lame. Or is it because some of the music in Shadow of the Erdtree was repeated from the base game? Again, Helldivers 2 and Sparking Zero balled the fuck out on their soundtracks. Anytime you hear a song in a game and you think, that's going in the workout playlist, that deserves the nomination. But also, Black Ops 6 had Jack Wall come back to the COD series, and he provided some bangers too. Alexa, play the Terminus boss theme. Can't sleep on Stellar Blade either. That game had a very relaxed, cool soundtrack at those rest spots. I think it deserves the nomination. If Sparking Zero got snubbed here, then the rest of these nominations they've got to be absolute bangers, because that's just insane to me. Best adaptation. I see Arcane is here. Now, a test for all League of Legends players. If somebody asks you, should I play League? Your response should be, no! Exactly. Any self-respecting League player will know this. And based on that alone, I cannot recommend Arcane win anything because it might inspire people to play League of Legends. No! On the real, I'm sure Arcane is fantastic. Those cinematics they used to make for League almost made playing the game feel like a good use of my time. They were hype as fuck though, and I always wanted to see more, so I'll probably check it out. The Fallout show was also surprisingly solid. I'm really looking forward to season 2. The ending was freaking good. It wasn't perfect, but given the setting, I think they nailed it, especially in live action. Live action and animation are 2 radically different beasts to tackle, and I think Fallout worked especially well with live action. I did a review of the show, check that out if you're curious. But wait a second, fellas. Wasn't there another video game adaptation that released a 2nd season this year? I'm sure there was. It seems like every video game adaptation is pure fire these days. I must be forgetting something. Oh, what's up, Master Cheeks? Did you forget that the Halo TV series had a 2nd season this year? Me too.
Leave me alone! Akira!
At this point, I honestly feel bad for the people who worked on it because it's just not good at all. I don't think anybody was happy with it. I didn't even finish watching it, so it's not surprising to see nobody talk about it when the Game Award nominees were revealed. Almost as if it had rightfully faded away into obscurity. Best Narrative. I can't speak to which game should win Best Narrative because I haven't played any of these, but what I will say is I'm glad Veilguard isn't on this list. Some folk tend to assume that because it's a BioWare game, they're all treated equal when it comes to storytelling, dialogue, characters, and overall narrative.
This too is false.
I just made a video about Veilguard, and I just think it's the right call to not have it be nominated. I don't think the writing is good at all. Games for Impact.
Games for Impact celebrates thought-provoking games with a profound pro-social meaning or message.
Pro-social message? What does that even mean, Jeff? I'm pro-social interaction. What is a pro-social message? Relating to or denoting behavior which is positive, helpful, and intended to promote social acceptance and friendship. How wholesome. You expect social acceptance from gamers. I think some of us are capable. Best multiplayer. Again, no Spark and Zero? Maybe people just weren't ready for Budokai Tenkaichi 4. I don't know, man. It is an interesting choice to have Space Marine 2 in here. Best independent game. I think Palworld deserves some love here, honestly. Yeah, it burned bright and fizzled out pretty quickly, but that was a great 3 weeks of entertainment for sure. You know, it's always a good time to hop on with the boys and get the slave trade back up and running. I don't know why Palworld was snubbed for a nomination, maybe because they only allow completed games or non-early access. But I could see it going to Animal Well or Balatro. Those seem to be the two top contenders. You do love to see Donkey's Studio on one of these lists. I think that's really cool. Animal Well looks like a lot of fun. Most anticipated game. Legit. We got a GTA 6 Game Award before GTA 6. Has that joke been used into the dirt yet? This is just a formality, man. Ain't no other game could win most anticipated this year. They have gambling on the Game Awards. That would be really funny to see what the odds of GTA 6 not winning are. Best fighting game, Sparking Zero. Next. Best family game. Hot take, Mario Party should never be on a list for best family game. These games will destroy your family, your relationships with your loved ones and friends, okay? These games are developed by Satan Industries. Did you know that? Best sports and racing game. I love how all the names just look like fucking barcodes or something. The variety in how they name sports games these days is truly stunning. That's all they are anymore, man. It's just fucking EA dominating the entire space. Here's the same game, new number, you know the drill. We used to have a ton of wild experimental sports type games, but no more. All homogenized. Best esports game. Holy shit, guys, we really got to get a Halo game on this list because this category comprises of the most toxic games in existence. All right, now it's time to get into the heart of the Game Awards controversy. Shadow of the Erdtree could possibly win Game of the Year. Now, for starters, the last two categories, Best Game Direction and Game of the Year, have the exact same lineup. So one game is probably going to win them both, right? Astro Bot seems like a worthy choice, though Balatro is pretty out of pocket. I think that's bold, but maybe not brash. Black Myth Wukong is definitely a strong contender. I would be pretty surprised if that didn't win, to be honest. That game blew up on Steam in a way that only Palworld and PUBG have. I mean, it did insane numbers. To answer your question, no, I don't think Shadow of the Erdtree should be nominated for Game of the Year. Absolutely not. There's many reasons. Dragon's Dogma 2. Space Marine 2, Helldivers 2, Stellar Breast. There's a whole swath of games that came out this year that deserve a nomination over Shadow of the Erdtree. Elden Ring already won Game of the Year. We know it's fucking good. And yes, it would be really funny if Elden Ring became like the first game to win Game of the Year twice because it's just that fucking good. But the obvious logic why Shadow of the Erdtree should be exempt is it's not a new game, it's an expansion. It doesn't matter how enjoyable or incredible that expansion might be, it's expanding on an existing game. It's Game of the Year. You want a different category for DLC and expansions, create a different category. By definition, it shouldn't be included. I don't know, maybe we're all stupid, fellas. Why wasn't Shadow of the Erdtree put into the best ongoing game category? An expansion is an ongoing continuation of that game. Some say best ongoing is for live service games. So what? Shadow of the Erdtree can't be nominated for that because they put all of their effort into one update? I don't understand the logic here. This decision is an exemption made solely for one product that released in 2024. And I think in a way that does discredit the Game Awards. It shows favoritism. I mean, FromSoft is a fan favorite, of course, but this jeopardizes the integrity of the Game Awards and the process behind how games are chosen. Shadow of the Erdtree is not a complete package. You have to put 80 hours into this base game in order to access the DLC, which I think is still cool. I love that FromSoft is still doing that, but these are prerequisites that are necessary to even play it. If it wins Game of the Year, there's gonna be an asterisk next to its name, a community note. I've seen folk argue that, well, Shadow of the Erdtree is so big, it deserves to be treated as its own separate game. And that's one of the biggest issues I have with it. The map was massive and it was far less interesting than any part of Elden Ring's base game. There was so much dead space. It was massive but very shallow in terms of the open world exploration. So in a sense, I think Shadow of the Erdtree was overrated, and there were better games that came out this year that were complete, that were brand new. And I can also acknowledge that it would be a shame to not have Shadow of the Erdtree nominated, because it's more Elden Ring. And Elden Ring, like I said, was just that fucking good. But I'd rather other games have a chance to be nominated. DLCs and expansions have been nominated for other categories. You know, Witcher 3 Blood and Wine won Best Role-Playing Game in 2016. I'm more fine with that. Game of the Year should honor the landmark title of that year. It should be the game that everyone rallied around. It should be a fresh, new, exciting, innovative title that makes us all think, why didn't anybody make this sooner? And I can't wait for more of it. And for me, that game is Helldivers 2. That's my pick, man. Helldivers 2, final answer, Game of the Year. And I know it had some pretty tough issues after launch that we can't ignore, but I think we can all agree it deserved at least to be nominated. Helldivers 2 took complete control of the gaming zeitgeist, but its momentum was halted by Sony. I think that's very important. When they tried to force players to make a PSN account to continue playing the game, it fractured the player base. The Game Awards should be about the games and rewarding those that make them. Publishers too can share in that glory, but their overreach and some of the anti-consumer shit that they pull, I think it's important to not let that discredit the developers' efforts on the game itself. And they've added so many new weapons, cosmetics, stratagems, ship modules, planets and biomes, not to mention the ongoing story and war effort. There was a resurgence of interest in Starship Troopers, one of my favorite movies. So obviously I'm biased, but I think Helldivers 2 should have won Game of the Year. It's something I didn't know I wanted, but I'm glad it's here. This is the kind of game that deserves to succeed, live its best life, and I want more games like it. So, those are my picks for Game of the Year 2024 and my opinions on the Shadow of the Erdtree controversy. Hopefully I can get that review out before the end of the year. It's going to be a long one, but I have to be careful about what I say about it. So, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Which game do you think deserves to win Game of the Year? What about the other categories? How wrong was I today? On a scale of 1 to 10. I'm eager to see what you guys have to say in the comments below. And don't forget to like the video if you enjoyed it and subscribe to the Act Man for more awesome content. Big shout out to my acting experts on Patreon: A Screaming Cloaker, A2A Phoenix, Anubis17, Caprivi, Crunchy Gel, Dr. Muller, Jazan Heitman, Jake Hall, Jonathan Werner, Jose Sanchez, Kelly McGowan, Levi Von Marks, Momo Mizrahi, Poop Dog, Ryan Kistner, Saber the ODST, Scroto T. Baggins, Shadow, and Sylphia. Thank you so much for your continued support. Mwah. Love you all. All right, everybody, that's all I got for today. This is the Act Man signing out. Peace.